If you want to lose 25 pounds in the next 90 days, you have to accept one thing. You're going to have to be aggressive. Now, this doesn't mean starving yourself and doing endless hours of cardio, but what it does mean is locking in and sticking to the plan. Now, if you're serious about making this happen for yourself, I'm about to dive into step by step exactly the plan that's going to help you do it. So let's get into it. Fat loss comes down to one thing, and that is a calorie deficit. If you are not burning more calories than you consume in a day, you are not going to lose a weight, period. So how much of a deficit should you be in? Well, first thing first is you need to figure out your current maintenance calories. And if you're not sure how to do that, just click the link in the description where I have a video going over exactly how to find your maintenance calories. To lose 1 pound per week, you need to be in a 500 calorie deficit. To lose closer to 2 pounds per week, you're gonna have to double that, about 1,000 calorie deficit. So if you wanna drop 25 pounds or more in those 12 weeks, you have to be on that high end of the range, cutting 1,000 calories a day. So for example, if your maintenance calories are 2,500 calories, if you wanted to lose 1 pound a week, you could eat about 2,000 calories. If you wanted to get really aggressive, you would have to drop all the way down to about 1,500 calories in order to see 2 pounds a week dropped. Don't forget that protein is a non-negotiable. You have to be eating at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is what will keep your muscle while you focus on fat loss. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you have to be eating at least 200 grams of protein. Some of my favorite protein sources are things like beef, chicken, eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, and the occasional protein shake here and there to help you hit that target. Last thing on calories is that you have to be tracking your food. There is no way to know whether you're actually eating what you think you are or you say you are unless you track your intake. Look, you don't have to track forever and always, but if you're serious about seeing progress, you're going to have to track because you really need to dial it in. I would simply use something like MyFitnessPal to track your intake. Next is that you need to be strength training at least 3 times a week, if not up to 5 times a week. If you don't lift, you're not just losing fat mass, you're also going to lose muscle mass. This is why you can see people lose a lot of weight, but they still end up looking soft and chubby because they do not have enough muscle to look toned, to look defined, and get that shredded physique that you want to have. So if you want to look toned and defined, lifting is a must. I always get a lot of questions about what is the best training split. And truthfully, the best training split is what you can consistently stick to. So it totally depends on your schedule and your experience. 3 times a week at full body sessions is great for beginners or people with really hectic and busy schedules. 4 times a week with something like an upper lower split is honestly a great middle point, and I ran this for a very long time and continue to see great progress with. 5 times a week with some variation of push-pull legs or a hybrid of the 2 we just mentioned is great if you really are a big fan of training and you just love going to the gym. So I'm always going at least 4 to 5 times. Now, it's not necessarily the split that's going to determine the progress you see when it comes to building muscle and retaining that muscle mass during your fat loss phase. But these 3 key principles are going to determine it, which is progressive overload. You have to train hard, guys. This means fighting for 1 more rep, even if it's 1 more pound or just a little bit more controlled form at the same weight every session. And that progressive overload leads you into key number 2, which is understanding intensity. You need to be training at least an RPE 8, which is just a scale of 1 to 10 of how intense you are training. You need to be close to failure, guys. You need to be pushing yourself. And if you are focusing on progressively overloading every week, naturally, you're going to be pushing yourself a little bit harder, which is going to keep you in that correct intensity level as well. And the third key principle is to really focus on your compound movements, things like squat, bench, deadlift, shoulder presses, rows. These movements are so great for building mass and strength because they attack multiple muscle groups at once. Once you get those in, then you can shift your focus over into more of the hypertrophy accessory work where you're really isolating the muscles and targeting them a little bit better. And I do want to mention that form and getting a good stretch on the muscle is important. So focus on going through the full range of motion and feeling the target muscle that you're looking to train. All right, lastly, you probably don't want to hear this, is cardio. Unless you have elite level genetics, cardio is essential to losing body fat and getting a great looking physique. Like, you will not get lean without it. So how much should you do? Because we are really focusing on a pretty aggressive cut, I would just go off the bat and start with 5 days a week at 30 minutes. You're honestly just going to have to bite the bullet on this one and learn to enjoy cardio because it really does bring awesome progress. Now, the best form of cardio is going to be low intensity or moderate intensity steady state cardio. It really doesn't matter what form you do, whether it's biking, walking on an incline, elliptical, or even something like the rower or the Stairmaster. I would just choose what you kind of enjoy the most or what doesn't fatigue you and tax your body as much. For me personally, I love cycling and just doing the stationary bike because it allows me to push my intensity while it's easy on my joints and it doesn't necessarily tax my entire body too much. And we're gonna tie this into your cardio, but you need to be getting steps in. I would recommend at least 8,000 steps per day, guys. But again, if you are serious about getting shredded and making this an aggressive cut, I don't wanna see anything less than 10K. Right? And don't make any excuses. You can find the time to get those steps in. So why is it that I'm telling you that cardio is essential for burning fat or getting shredded like you want to? Well, first of all, lifting muscle is by far the best thing that you lifting weights is by far the best thing that you can do to boosting your metabolism long term. The more muscle you have on your frame, the higher your metabolism is, which means the more calories your body naturally burns at rest. With that being said though, cardio is a great tool to utilize to help put you in a bigger calorie deficit. And like we mentioned at first, calorie deficit is the most important thing to losing weight. And that is why you need to be doing both. All right, step 4 is honestly a bonus, and that is mindset and consistency, because this is where people truly fail. It's not necessarily not knowing what to do. You just don't want to hear it. You probably want me to tell you about a magic pill or a magic supplement that you can take to help you lose this weight super fast. But the reality is that you have to do the hard things like we just talked about. People fail because they cannot keep that consistency sticking to the plan. And the best piece of advice that I can give you is you have to go all in. You have to commit. You have to make a decision. You cannot sit here and wonder and ponder your choices and always be second guessing yourself. You have to decide that this is what you want to do. That means coming to the decision that all the extra junk food, the drinking the alcohol, and skipping your workouts or skipping cardio is not an option. If you want great results, you have to make these things a non-negotiable in your mind. You have to stay true to yourself, to your goals, and to who you want to be. Honestly, treat yourself the same way you freaking treat your boss. If your boss tells you to show up at 6 a.m., you show up, no questions asked. You deserve to give yourself the same exact respect. And honestly, a really great tip that a lot of people sleep on is just win each day. End goal will come if you conquer every single day, if you check the boxes every day. So instead of telling yourself that you can't be happy until you reach the end goal, look at every small win, every box you check as an opportunity as if you're already there. Freaking take pride in it. Find joy in it. Get excited about getting your steps in for the day, about hitting your workout, about hitting your calories and your protein, because those smaller things that you do on a daily basis is exactly what's going to get you to the end goal. So the more you continue to push off your happiness, to push off how you feel great about what you want to do until you get to the end, it's going to suck that much worse for you. Find joy, find happiness in the grind. And that's what that means is you celebrate those small wins. You take pride in it because it's another vote to who you want to become. That literally is science-backed how you would lose 25 pounds in 90 days. There is no crazy gimmicks. You don't have to try any crazy supplements. You don't have to take any magic pill. If you stay consistent and you lock in for the next 3 months and do everything we just talked about, I guarantee that you will lose the weight. Stop making excuses and start getting results. You can't have both. If you're still not sure exactly where to start and you want more of a detailed plan and strategy to ensure that you get the progress you're looking for, just hit the link in the description and apply for our one-on-one coaching at Silverback Strength. We'll actually give you a free strategy call to, first of all, get you started on your planning and also just figure out if you would even be a good fit for our coaching program. If not, no hard feelings. And if you are, I guarantee you will completely transform you and your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube things for me to help me grow this page and provide as much value as possible to everyone out there. Oh, and also, if you guys have any topics or things that you want me to cover in future videos, just drop a comment down below and I'm more than happy to cover them. I'll see you guys in the next one.